All right, we are back. Part two, Skope TV. Will Dailey, we've got him on the line. Let's get right into the hit "Rise," which is just an amazing song. You really hit a home run with this one. How did the concept of that song come to be, and was there a ton of pressure from CBS Records for you to create that first hit to really get out there?
Well, the thing with that song is I had written it many years prior to CBS, and the album Back Flipping Forward I wrote and put out independently. Then CBS picked it up, so the song was there, and they just fell in love with it. So that was just kind of luck. It was an old song I wrote, just lost a member of a family and ended a relationship, so it was a pretty easy song to write. And it just kind of had its own run there with all that. You know, I got to play it on the morning show, and it got in a bunch of shows, and it did real well for that album, for Back Looking Forward.
Once that track came out, did you immediately see like new fans, and people on the MySpace and just the attention that it garnered?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, the weirdest thing was, all the fans we had up to that moment were fans who, bought the album, listened to every song, and then all of a sudden you have a song that's out, it's on radio, it's on TV, and you were playing in Seattle, and, you're looking at the audience, and there's these three people who have this blank stare throughout the whole set until you play that one song. They're trying to figure out, all right, they're listening to every song. It's like those people were listening to all those other songs for the first time, and then waiting for the one song they knew.
Wow.
That was the weirdest thing. It's cool how it brings in new people like that, but sometimes a song that's kind of a single also brings in people who don't know you that well, might have downloaded that one song, and are there to experience you for the first time. And that was, talking to people like that after a show is always fascinating, because you're realizing what's getting them hooked in, what other songs they liked after the night, what they thought of your night, because they didn't know you at all, besides that single.
Wow, that's awesome. So, throughout 2009, you're going to be releasing a constant flow of EPs. And I want you to talk about that, let the people know about that. And also I want to talk about, I'm seeing a lot of bands, especially in the rock, alternative, acoustic, singer-songwriter genre, where people are really turning to EPs now, and some of them are just releasing them digitally. Do you think the EP eventually is going to replace the album?
Well, I don't presume to really know exactly what's going to happen now, and I think that's the craziest part about everyone's life right now, in all of culture, is just like everyone's trying to put one foot in front of the other, but it's really kind of nerve-wracking as to what's around the corner, whether it be how is music going to be released and how are artists going to survive, to how are people going to hold on to their home, so, and pay their medical bills. But as far, you're right, I'm seeing a lot of that too, and just people trying to chip away at the stone with different kind of tools. And for me, I was thinking, I did Goodbye Red Bullet, I did Back Flipping Forward, and I could go into this whole new album cycle, but it wasn't conducive to how I write music. I don't write 10 songs every 2 years and write them just to record them and then stop writing. I'm always working on stuff, and so, sometimes I'll write 20 songs, 20, 30 songs between each, a year in between each thing, and those are sitting on a shelf until I can get back into the studio. So that was one reason. It's like, I want to get all this music out when I write it. And then the other reason is, just like you said, the way the industry's going, at least I can take my fans on this journey, with me. They can, get the first volume, they can get the second volume and keep coming along for the ride. But also, you're just kind of staying in the public's eye that time. Instead of one album that goes to press, that one cycle goes to radio, they're kind of taking the ride and galvanizing my fan base. And they're actually being a part of me and how I do things. As opposed to a lot of artists are getting stuck blogging and doing video blogs and doing stuff that has nothing to do with music. And because of the new technology. But this, for me, is how I take advantage of the new technology. And this is how I blog and get closer with my fans. This is what I really do. I'm an artist, I'm a musician, so come along for this ride. I will do it in a way that is conducive towards how I create.
That's really so great you just said that, because you really are right. There are so many musicians who really just want to be celebrities, but that's for a whole other interview, which we could get into that. All you can do, you watch TMZ and you'll see. But
Yeah, I mean, I read one person's blog one day talking about how they're sipping tea on the water, about to go play a show. The world is beautiful, and I don't want fans who care what kind of tea I'm having, where I'm at during the day. I just want fans who care where I'm playing, when my next release is. I want to know what their favorite songs are. I want to know how they're enjoying these songs. I want to interact with them that way. We don't need to know anything else about each other. You know?
I couldn't agree more. But let's get into my next question here. How did starting out in Boston shape you as an artist? And also, what is your show at Harper's Ferry on the 14th of February, 2 days from now? What does that show mean to you to come home? And what does Boston mean to you?
Well, you've asked a perfect question, because with this series, these series of EPs, which we're calling a torrent, and we have Torrent Volume 1 and Volume 2 and 3 and 4 and so on. But Volume 2 is called By the Blue Hills, which is actually the Native American interpretation of Massachusetts. That's what it means, By the Blue Hills. And all the songs on there I've been trying to pick these EPs almost thematically, one way or another, whether they be musically, thematically, or how they're written, or the way they sound, or where they're recorded and who's on them. And By the Blue Hills, Volume 2, which comes out in March, are all these songs about my friends in Boston, which, when I come back from a place like LA, when I come back from tour, all their lives are still spinning. And it's very much part of how I rebound and how I keep going and how I get my fuel. And I was looking at these group of songs, and that's what By the Blue Hills is going to be about, essentially Volume 2. And we have Kay Hanley on there singing with us. We have Tanya Donley from Belly. We have Ellie Easton from The Cars. We have Tim Brennan from Dropkick Murphys. Sean Staples and Duke Levine, who are just amazing cats around Boston. And so, I celebrate my hometown, the way it sounds, the way it makes me feel, and the way it kind of keeps me kind of going. Not just when I play shows or when I play, but actually on one of these EPs, on one of the torrents. So when I get home, playing a place like Harper's Ferry or playing, any venue in town, we started this year off with trying to have a little show to play to celebrate the first volume coming out. And there was a line down the street of people getting turned away, which was exciting. And then I ended up feeling bad because there's people in my hometown getting turned away who always, have been loyal and faithful. So I'm excited for Saturday because we've made sure we've held tickets to the door so no one will get turned away. And
get there early, people. Get there early. Harper's Ferry, get there early. It's going to be incredible. My next question, Skope really got hooked on Will Dailey after we did the review of Goodbye Red Bullet. How have you changed? And also, how have you stayed the same since you put out that album?
Well, I think personally, like when I put out Goodbye Red Bullet, I did, I spent every penny I had. I sold my car to finish paying for it. And I did it my way. I produced it my way. We made it with no computers. And then with Backing Forward, I kept, I got some money from someone to help me make that one. But they wanted me to do it in Los Angeles, and I said no. I'm going home to make it with my friends and musicians that I trust and whose love and effort I'll get on the tape. You'll actually hear it. And so I thanked them for their investment and convinced them to let me do it at home, and didn't take no for an answer. And the same thing with this, with Torrent and with releasing music this way, and this year the way I'm going to, I walked into my record label and said, it wasn't their idea, it was my idea. I walked in and said, this is how I'd like to do it. So I basically stayed the same with, I think my fans know and listeners know that when I'm doing something, I'm doing it my way and how I want to do it.
And that's how you should do it. Hold one sec, Will. We got to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. Skope TV, Will Dailey.